Michael here. It's July 29th, 2016. I'm working on the Tacoma again. I just in the last week installed a new front axle because the inner boot was torn and I didn't feel like trying to rebuild an axle around a new boot, so I spent the extra money to just get an entirely new axle. The sway bar link, instead of unscrewing, just broke, so I got a new one of those. And while installing the new axle, I noticed that my upper ball joint boot was torn. So today I'm replacing the ball joint. Got a new one from O'Reilly Auto. And again, I'm using the ball joint press. I think it's the same one at O'Reilly or AutoZone. And I also got a Honda ball joint kit because some YouTube video, some guy said, "Oh, get this off of eBay, this Honda and Toyota ball joint kit," and it seemed like it had the right size for me to press it in. And once again, the C-clamp seems too short, or if these receiver tubes were about half the length, there would be room for the whole entire clamp. And no, I didn't feel like filming it, but I thought, what the heck, shoot a video of where I'm at, just kind of this point in life. Okay, let me interject a bit here about tools. The Tacoma service manual says to use their special service tool, which is a straight bar puller and a couple of your own sockets. Actually, they type socket wrench instead of socket, but if you look closely, you'll see that sockets are what's shown in the pictures, being used as press adapters. Also notice that they show the spindle completely out of the vehicle and clamped in a vise. While putting this video together, I found this page on toyotaforerunner.org. Man, I wish I would have seen this before starting my ball joint replacement. The magical piece of information here is four-wheel drive ball joint adapter set number 67048. Thanks to Yosh 2000 for posting this, but I sure wish I would have seen this ahead of time. As you can see in his pictures, the adapters are skinny and can fit right next to the spindle. So, if you're about to replace your Tacoma or 4Runner upper ball joint, be sure to get the four-wheel drive adapter kit in addition to the giant C-clamp. The rest of this video is how I got the job done without the correct adapters. Maybe some of you already have your truck disassembled and are wondering how to proceed without the skinny adapters. So, best of luck to you! So, I'm going to try to scrub out some of this rust, put some grease in there, and hopefully the new ball joint will slide in more easily than the old one came out. So, hope you're having a great summer. Bye. Alright, well, I think I got it. This is the combination of stack up I ended up using to press in the upper ball joint. I don't like that I had to use just the raw surface of the clamp here, and then I kind of positioned it a little to the right, shoved it up in there, a little bit to the left, shoved it up in there, kind of worked my way upward a little bit at a time, but there just wasn't room for enough adapters to do it how I think it should be done. And I had to double stack these to receive the threaded portion There's the old one. So comparing the length, this tip of the thread if I'd have just used this lower ring right here, I think that tip would have gotten smashed by the clamp. So I stuck on this other ring to give that little bit of shaft somewhere to go, and I can't use these rings underneath anyway because of this post. There's just no room for that ring. So I thought this is out of the Honda kit, but it didn't fit this ball joint. But I think that's the idea of this flat side. Material is removed to clear the post of the, I don't know, what is that, the spindle? So yeah, definitely greased the ball joint and tried to make sure it went in straight or mostly straight, and then repositioned the clamp to shove a little bit on the other side and then shove a little bit on this side, and I think you can see that in the still shots. Anyway, so I think it's done and in there, but I don't like this clamp setup. Okay, as I'm disassembling this, I'll kind of show you what's under here. I needed to use this disc because it's got the smaller ID for the clamp, but I also needed to use this disc because it's got the big ID to let the shaft of the ball joint come through. So that's why I double stacked these. It worked, but whatever. I don't think this is ideal. This does stick up a bit. I left on the rubber boot and just kind of shoved it up in there. So this ring, the smallest receiver tube, could fit on the top of the spindle. So there's the rubber boot, which that'll get shoved back down when I stick this in the control arm. I stuck this piece of rope on here because I didn't like how the spindle was pulling on the axle in there. And I undid the brake line from the spindle to give it some slack. This particular brake line bolt broke, so I drilled down the middle and retapped it 1/4 because that's what I had. So watch out for snapping bolts. So I think I'm in good shape. Time to reassemble. Alright, here's the snap ring reinstalled. I went ahead and reused the original one as opposed to the new one because I felt like on the original these little sharp points gave me at least some chance of prying it off better than this more smoothly rounded one would. It's unlikely that I'll ever be touching this part again, but whatever. I do already have some little tears in the rubber on the boot, but they're really small and hopefully will be a non-issue. And this is going to slide back down. That's going to be pretty tight up under there. This ball joint does have a grease zerk, so I went ahead and put that in, as opposed to the what I assume is the original factory ball joint, quote unquote permanently lubricated. That's all sloppy and crappy in there. Alright, and I got a new ball joint. Came with a cotter pin, new castle nut, 3/4 inch wrench, seems to fit that really well. Torque spec on that on the control arm here is 80 foot-pounds, so I'll give it just a good strong yank, and should be good to go. Alright, I'm essentially done. I went ahead and jacked up the control arm to try for maximum straightness of the ball joint stud right there. I tightened it to roughly 60 foot-pounds or something, and then went on around to the next tooth on the, or next opening on the castle nut. In my opinion, the hole should be drilled a little bit lower. I don't think that's going to be very good engagement with the cotter pin, but hey, what do I know? So anyway, what I've got here is the Master Pro K90255 from O'Reilly Auto Parts, and the instructions do say must be installed by a qualified ASE certified technician with specific tools designed for correct installation. Well, I'm not an ASE certified technician, and I obviously didn't have these specific tools designed for the correct installation, but I guess I should quit my bitching because it says right here in the box what I should do. Go to school to get certified and get the correct tools, then show up and buy this at my local auto parts store and install it. Alright, anyway, so good luck to you with your ball joint.